Hello everyone and welcome back to Prime Coding channel. In this video, we'll talk about the master project pitch, which means how you can explain your project into your interview, which can create impact in your interview and increase the hiring possibility of yourself. Yes, in this video, we'll talk about common mistakes that usually candidates do. I have a personal experience of taking one-to-one sessions in that I have got to know this particular mistakes that I have mentioned in this video and the pro tips that is needed for you to crack the interview and create your project explanation in such a way that the interviewer will definitely get impressed. Yes, so without wasting time, let's see this video. Now, ever felt tongue-tied when explaining your project in a tech interview? You are not alone if your answer is yes. Guys, I was also having the same issue when I was preparing for my interview. But with the rigorous practice, having mock interviews helped me a lot to overcome this problem. To overcoming this problem, you should know the specific things that you should keep in mind while creating your response. We'll see importance of explaining project well. Before doing anything, you should know the cause of it. So this is a cause, importance. So importance is helps to demonstrate your problem solving skills. Interviewer wants from your explanation of the project is whether you are a problem solver or not, and shows your ability to communicate with technical concept. If your project has team members and you are among of them, which means you have a good communication skills. You can explain the technical concept to your teammates. So this is the most important thing that interviewer will remember or have a points into their forms. Now, reflect your enthusiasm, like how was you were very excited while creating that project and involvement in the project. What you have did in that project. So interviewer wants to listen all these 3 points from you. If you have written your response in such a way that you have covered all 3 points, which means your response is up to the mark. We'll see the structure of your explanation for impact. You need to create impact, is it? This is the type that you need to follow. I usually tell this in my mock sessions, but in this video, I will let you know this thing. So S stands for situation, T stands for task, A stands for action, and R stands for reaction or result. In this format, you need to tell your answer to your interviewer if they ask you to tell me about this project. Now, situation. S stands for situation. Briefly set the scene. What problem were you trying to solve? Because if you are creating some problem or if you are solving some problem, then it might be in a situation. If you have not copied your project from YouTube, or if you have copied the project from YouTube, you should have a particular response of all this that I am telling you. Create a response to STAR so that you will be answerable for each and every questions. So try to create a scenario. Like in my case, when they ask us, I told the situation was I need to create a standard database which can help company to take the multiple data points in a second. So yeah, that was my situation. According to your situation, create your response according to that. And have a context. Please don't talk context less in your interview. It can shift the interviewer interest to the another candidate. And another point is task. T stands for task. Defining your role and responsibility in the project. Guys, try to do your project in team because in company, mostly all the work are done in a team. So they want a team player. So if you have a role assigned to you and how you are performing it and what all contribution that you have made that created any impact in that project, let them know everything and what task that you have done, specifically talk about that. And if there is a hack and if you don't have team members in your project, try to create a virtual scenario where you can tell all these things and make interview your side in the project. Great. So let's create a task list and assign a good task to you or assign the good task to your friends and try to prepare according to your task. Great. Now action. situation we have discussed, task we know. Now, what you have did, what was your action? Let's see. Explain the specific steps you took and the technical skills you used. In this case, you need to tell about the tech stack that you have used, the technologies, that any languages, and any of the stuffs that you have used to perform the action while doing your task. Everything has to be well maintained and should follow the procedure. Great. Now, result. After applying STA, now we comes to R. What was the result? Try to do some real life problem, which is like in your life you are facing that particular problem, or in your user or customer base, if they are facing that problem, try to resolve that problem, which will give you the response in the result. You can create a local survey like whether this project is useful for them. Try to have a result with you. Use some numeric terms. So use some numeric terms like 20% people or 20% customer were very happy with your contribution, or the team members were happy with your contribution. So if you have a result, your explanation have a power or strength to demonstrate your skills, like yes, he is a result oriented guy. Now, key elements to include when you are creating your response following STAR format, which is very essential to create a response in this format. You should use this element into your response. The very first is tech stack. Now, tech stack discuss the technology, tools and programming languages you used. Guys, if you are creating any project, you need to have a technologies, and you should have a proper justification why you have taken this technology, why you don't have took this. Let's say you have a web development project and that you have used React.js. Now, why don't you use Next.js, or why don't you use other technologies? You should have a great response to that, because this question will definitely gonna ask to you. And challenges and solution. If you have told the project and he and she, the interviewer, is also interested in that project, then you can definitely expect this question. What do challenges that you have faced while creating your project? So have a proper response. What is that challenges? Whether it was some error, whether it was some team conflicts, whether it was some error that was not present over the internet, and how you have overcome that, which shows that you have a problem solver. If the resources are not being available easily, but you have solved this problem, which shows a very good positive character of yourself to the interview. And learning and growth, what all that you have learned. Like if you have challenges, and definitely you have learned from that challenges. So let them know what was your learning and what was your growth after creating that project. And the very fourth point is team collaboration. Try to do any project till now. If you don't have, try to create a team and do a specific small project so that you can speak into your interview, because interviewer wants a team player. And highlight your work and improve efficiency. Like you can say that in your project there was some latency, and after your involvement that latency has been down to 80%. So this line has a good weight into your explanation, which means you have a specific goal and your contribution makes sense. Now use matrices whenever possible. The matrices in the sense increased engagement by 20%. Guys, if you have numbers into your resume would be very heavy, and it will separate you from the other candidates, because you have a real-time numbers, which definitely create an impact in the interview. Now, be prepared for the follow-up questions. Now, anticipate potential question about your choices, challenges faced and trade-off made during the project. When you are creating the project, you should know each and every chunk of your project, like why you have used this, why you have used that, why you need 4 members of a team, how you have managed your everything. You should have a proper answer for that. So try to get the potential question. You can use the AI models, like paste your project description into the AI model, ask them to ask some potential question that can be formed. He will let you know some basic questions that you should at least know before going to the interview. And if you are able to anticipate your potential questions, which means you have a deep understanding in your project, which shows you have a good confidence. So guys, confidence is directly proportional to your explanation. If your explanation is good, confidence would be high, and they also need those guys who are very confident with their explanation. common mistakes to avoid. So being too vague, which means avoid general description, be specific. I saw in one-to-one session, like people used to speak something else which is irrelevant to that particular topic. It might be you have not understood the question that is given by the interviewer. You should know what was the exact answer. If he asked what is OOPS, you just need to tell in 2 lines, not the whole story. If he asked you to tell the story or speak for 2 to 3 minutes, then you can tell your story frequently or fluently. And overloading with jargon, which means use technical terms appropriately but don't overwhelm the interviewer. Guys, this makes sense because in each and every interview, it doesn't like whatever technology that you have used, the particular interviewer has an experience in that technology. So don't use that extensively. Wherever it is necessary, take the name of your technology and what will actually impacted after using that technology, how you have used the technologies to create this impact. Try to focus on the impact so that interviewer also think about the impact, not on the technology much, which shows that you can use the utilities to solve any problem. And ignoring soft skills. I saw many people were not telling their soft skills. Used to tell, I have a doubt, where I sit with my colleagues or team friends where we have brainstormed to find a particular solution of this problem, and after the brainstorming sessions of 1 to 2 sessions, we have come through this potential solution which has impacted this many people, or this which impacted this error by 80 or 90% or remove the latency. So these particular points try to include in your project explanation so that your explanation will be top notch. Now, pro tip, which is very mandate to each and every candidate who is preparing for any type of interview. Let it be PBC, let it be service-based or anything. Now, keep it concise. Guys, aim for 2 to 3 minutes per project explanation because interviewer had multiple things to ask you. If you take 5 to 10 minutes by explaining your project, he will not interrupt you, but you will spoil your interview because he wants to cover all these topics that he came with the preparation that he took to ask you. If he is not able to ask that problem, it's a red flag for you. Now, practice. Emphasize the importance of practicing your explanation multiple times. Guys, this thing was very impactful because I use this stuff. I used to record myself when I am explaining my project to them. It's like when you replay your recording, it will let you know where you are actually lagging. Or I have a good resource, I will let you know in the last where you can use this practice in an efficient way. Guys, come to the mirror, stand in front of mirror and speak so that you can see yourself and your body gesture. Because many people have don't control on their eyes, lips, hands, legs, they continue fidgeting, fumbling because they don't practice much. And in the interview, I would definitely recommend you to be prepared before going into the interview because these types of questions are mandatory. Like, tell me about yourself or what you have did in this project. So these are the very generic and very important questions that we're definitely going to ask. So prepare for this so that at least 3 of the areas are into your hand because you have prepared and you can speak, because the coding question you can't be sure whether they will ask you the easy one, the medium one, the hard one. But this question is sure. So try to prepare this because or you will get only one opportunity. Try to grab that. If you have that opportunity, please, I will request you to grab that because in this layoff, many people are getting layoff irrespective of the company, of PVCs, service-based companies, everywhere the layoff are going on. So if you have some opportunity in your hand, please try to grab it. Now, clarity and brevity. Advise you viewers to keep their explanation clear and concise, because if someone else is talking uncontextual or the context you are not interested in, then definitely you will not listen that and it will create a red flag. So please be clear and concise. Try to speak slowly so that your information will fit into the interviewer mind and your emotion will reach to the interviewer emotions. Now, tailor to the audience. Now, suggest tailoring the explanation based on the interviewer technical expertise. Like in the beginning, interviewer will definitely tell you about himself, like what all technologies that he knows. So try to merge your explanation with his technical skills so that interviewer will also feel engaged while you are speaking about your project. Now, mock interviews. Guys, mock interviews is a gem. Nowadays is a gem because the front people, who is the front guy who's taking your interview, can analyze your communication skill, your weak point, everywhere that you are lagging and the fields that you need to focus. And if all these things are known to you and you have practiced according to that, then this opportunity no one can steal from you. Now, think of the smile that will appear on your parents' face when you receive the TCS offer or any of the company offer. Guys, this is a great line that I have created in the morning, which has a great emotion. Think about that. So, if you have understood all these points or keywords that you need to create your answer, and when you are done with creating your answer, please try to practice yourself, like how you need to speak, whether you are clear, whether you are concise. And if you are not able to qualify or know what is the actually happened or whether you are clear or not, you can have a thing that I'm gonna tell you now, which will definitely help you to crack that particular interview, which is mock interview. Rehearse confidence and master real life interview fearlessly, because if you know how you can express yourself in an interview and you have given multiple mock interview, then in the interview you will never get nervous and it will look like a familiar situation where you need to speak and you know your weakness as well as your weak side and your strong side. So you can take your interview to the stronger side so that you can roll the offer to you. And guys, it is very cheap. It is starting from just 99. So why don't you try this and make your parents happy with your great offer letter? Guys, ask one question yourself, keeping aside your family. Do anyone is there who is holding your back? If your answer is no one, so please try to grab this opportunity, because taking opportunity is itself a great thing, and rolling it to the offer letter, you have just won your family trust and confidence. So please be happy, be healthy, and subscribe the channel if you have liked it. This was from my side, guys. If you are preparing for SQL, DBMS, everything has been provided on my Prime Coding channel. It is enough, more than enough to create. It is more than enough to crack any service-based company. Everything has been covered extensively by thorough research over the internet. Please subscribe it, like it, and share with your friends who are preparing for the interview, because this can make wonders in their resume and they can also crack the interviews. So we'll meet you with a new video soon.